Hello everyone, welcome back to Wendy's Way. I know this is a funky look, but say, the sun's actually shining for a change, and I'm loving it. But my eyes are sensitive to it, so there you go. I'm gonna shoot a little before footage so we can do a bunch of before, during, and after footage in the rain gutter grow system this year. Lou and I have already spent a little time out there, and I'll give you a heads up on what we did once we get out there, but I just wanted to let you know what we're up to today. So please, if you would, join me in the Wendy's Way garden. All right, as you know, this is how we get there. We go through the privacy fence and down the beautiful little stone path that Blue built for us. Before we even get down to the garden, I want to show you that one of my beautiful little lilac bushes that I got from Galen and Alice is blooming, and I'm excited. I love lilacs. And again, before we get down there, I want to show you that my raised bed that last year was full of ground cherries and sunflowers is ready to be prepped, cleaned, and this year I'm actually going to start my asparagus bed in there as I was going to in years prior. Also, you'll notice that privacy fence needs some serious attention, and that is on the list for summer projects. All right, this is my little slice of heaven. It's the other lot that came with my home, and in this lot we have planted trees, lots of trees, and as well as a great big rain gutter grow system. The big green barrel here on the left with the blue tub underneath it, that is my compost turner that I need to get reactivated in a quick hurry. It's full of the plant remains yet from last year's garden, but I haven't added to it yet this spring, so I need to throw in some water and some fresh compost items to get it going again. And as you can see, naturally my dogs are going down to greet the neighbors as they walk by. The shed next to it, I call it a shed, technically there's some animal panel hoops covered by a big old truck tarp. T-posts on both sides. It's all extremely secure and tied down, and you know, the tarp has lasted a couple of years now. It's just one of those super heavy ones, and I closed the ends at the end of the season, so it's an enclosed shed for lawnmower and all my gardening stuff. Now, what you see here are my rain gutters. A lot of people out walking today. It's the warmest day so far this spring. These are the rain gutters and trellises and buckets that I garden in. And if you've followed my channel for any amount of time at all, you will know what I do here. And if you're brand new, we'll just talk it over again. So, what we do, technically, I'm going to go over here. Another neighbor getting an earful from my dogs. Okay. We start with a vinyl rain gutter, 10 feet long, and cap it. Glue a cap at both ends. Then you frame it in 2x4s, weather-treated 2x4s. You use roofing screws that, you know, have the gaskets attached, and attach the rain gutter to the 2x4s. I have also, just this year, Lou added a little 2x4 piece in the middle on the top, because a lot of the gutters, after a couple of years of use, were starting to bow because there was no connection between the 2x4s. Simply the vinyl rain gutter. So that's one thing that we've already done this year, is to add a 2x4 support piece in the middle of all 21 rain gutters that we have out here. We also cleaned out the ends of the rain gutters. I mean, there's no need to clean them out thoroughly. That would just be a lot of wasted effort. But I cleaned out the ends of the rain gutters, and then Lou put a fresh coat of caulk and glue for PVC in the ends of the rain gutters. Because there were a few leaks last year, you know, and you just put a coffee can under it and catch it and dump it back in, but it would be so pleasant not to have that happen. So we're just kind of upfitting our stuff. So you start with the rain gutter and the cap and the 2x4s. And then I put them up on cinder blocks. And more just to bring it up to my level than anything else. And to get the 2x4s off the ground so they're not in constant contact with moisture. I have covered the ground out here with old carpet. You know, it was free and it makes a really good ground cover. I did have gravel on this area to begin with, and there is still part of the gravel that isn't covered yet. But, you know, we just make sure and pull the weeds or kill the weeds in one way, shape, or form. Okay, after the rain gutter, then, well, I have gone around and shimmed underneath the ends of the rain gutters as need be to get them close to level. You know, they're on the ground out here. Nothing is level. You know, it's the earth. So 5-gallon buckets, you drill a hole in the bottom of every bucket. And if I remember correctly, 2 5/8 is the size of the hole saw that we used for these 5-gallon buckets. And then you drop, I should have brought one with me, but I'll give you a little better close-up. This is a net cup. It's a plastic cup, which is kind of like a filter. It's full of holes. You drop that down inside the bucket and through the hole. It's 3 inches on the top, so its lip fits inside and it does not fall through the hole that we made. Then you fill the bucket, not all the way full, but mostly, with planting mix, or potting mix, I should say. Not potting soil, but potting mix, because to use this method and water from the bottom through that filter cup, potting soil is too dense and it doesn't wick water very well. It gathers water and it holds on to it, and that would drown the plants. We use potting mix because it has a good amount of peat moss and perlite, and it will wick the water up to the roots enough to feed the plant, but not to overwhelm it with water. And these buckets still have the stems and the root balls from last year's garden. I didn't want to try to find a way to empty them all and store them all and store the soil from all of them, since they were, you know, compacted and held in by roots and moisture. I simply took them off the rain gutters and laid them on their side after I had removed the plants. And, you know, there's a little soil that's fallen out here and there. No big thing. And I believe, if you look back, there are a couple of hooped trellises back there. Last year, I planted 110 5-gallon buckets with plants. I have found from personal experience that peppers and beans and tomatoes grow very well in this rain gutter grow system. I also found that loofah gourds and birdhouse gourds do not grow very well in the rain gutter grow system. The loofah gourds put out far too many roots to be sustained and to put on much of a crop. And they failed after months of, you know, a lot of effort was put into growing them, and with nothing to show for it. I think I gleaned about 6 or 7 usable birdhouse gourds. And were they planted in the ground, I'm sure they would have done so much better. You know, allowed to grow on the trellises, but planted in the ground. They just didn't seem to do well in the potting mix. And watering from the bottom. All right. So, as I said before, what we have already done to get rolling on this year's garden, we have plants started in the basement. We've started our seeds. We cleaned the ends of the rain gutters and gave them a fresh coat of caulk and or glue. We have put a wooden brace, some leftover 2x4s onto the 2x4s to strengthen our rain gutters. And I have shimmed up, or at least given an eye level to the rain gutters themselves. Did a reasonably good job of that last year, and basically all we did was turn the rain gutters over last fall so that they wouldn't be holding water all winter long, which would force them to break. So we just turned them over and I eyeballed it. And now it is time for me to get my system going to refill these buckets. And what I intend to do, I have one big bag of magic dirt, potting soil. I have a bale, a great big bag of peat moss. I have a bag of fertilizer, water-in fertilizer. It's pellets, a pellet type fertilizer that you can lay on top and water in, or in my case, since I water from the bottom, I'll be mixing it in with the soil. And I have perlite. I'm going to go and one at a time, I'm going to dump the bucket into my wheelbarrow. Pull out the root ball and stem and beat as much soil off of it as I can. And then they will be going into my compost turner, ultimately, those root balls. And then I will add peat moss, perlite, little fertilizer to the potting mix that was in the bucket. Add a wee bit of soil and mix it up, put it back in the bucket so that it will be ready for this year's planting. And I imagine that'll take a while, since I have 110 buckets potentially to fill. I'm not sure that I'm going to plant 110 buckets this year, but it's quite possible. Might as well, if I have the seeds and the plants to grow. Even if I don't think I'm going to save them or preserve them for myself, I'm praying that there will be a farmer's market this summer, and I believe there will. You know, despite the coronavirus, I think people are going to still come out and try to get some healthy foods. And maybe people will want to grow some of my plant starts even before I have a chance to get them in the ground. So that's where I'm at. This is the Wendy's Way rain gutter grow system, the Wendy's Way garden. And it's time for me to get my hiney in gear and get these buckets ready for the new plants that I am starting in the basement. I'm so very happy that you have chosen to join me again here at Wendy's Way, out here working in the garden, and I hope that you will continue to join me. I'll be making more videos gardening and planting, preparing, preserving food. I'm also have a couple of crochet videos coming up. I have a baby blanket almost done that I'm going to show steam blocking and stitching together of mosaic squares. I also have another one in process, which is a 12-point circle. And what else? Oh, who knows? Who knows what we might have in store here at Wendy's Way. I'm so glad that you've chosen to join me. I hope that if you get anything out of these videos, you may consider liking, subscribing, and sharing them on your social media accounts to others who also might be interested. And I do pray that the good Lord who blesses me each and every day of my life blesses you as well, today and always. Amen.